Hello, welcome to the Rubber Industry Business Talk. Today we have a guest, Dr. Sawar Dhanania. He is the president of All India Rubber Industries Association. Dr. Dhanania, welcome to the program. Thank you for accepting our invitation, having a talk for this Rubber Industry News Hour program.
Okay. Thank you.
So thank you very much. So let's dive into our discussion today on the various aspects of the Indian rubber industry. Before we get into details, you are a well-known person in the Indian rubber industry, and I want to know some story about you before getting the Indian rubber industry itself. How did you get into the rubber industry? Can you talk about your journey of the rubber industry and how many years you were there in the rubber industry? And so please. Yeah.
My father started rubber business, rubber industry in the year 1942. So I am in the rubber industry since last 50 years. When I was a school-going boy or a student, since then on Sunday or any vacation during my summer vacation, I used to go with my father to the industry. At the time, I was not allowed to go independently to the workshop or the workplace. All the time, father escorted me, through someone that you go there, you should not, you being opting for the engineering show, you should not go and start for the machines or looking very closely or seeing the operation. You must be looking from the distance. So it is that mostly on Sundays or on holidays, I used to go to the rubber factories, and I liked very much. And going to the section of the chemical where everything is stored, and then going to the finished goods go down where everything is finished and their dispatches are there. So it was very interesting for me. Since then, it is in the 60s, I should say. And after my graduation, my father was waiting that since all the time he was appointing engineers or the rubber chemical people to the factory. So he has in his mind that one day my son will come in the industry with his background as an engineer. So he will be happy and he will have a own man. It was also told to him by all other people that when your son is coming for the. So after my graduation, though I got an appointment as a professor or in America, but my family or my father requested me, all right, I allowed you to study up to the post-graduation level in the product engineering, but you have to come to the rubber industry. So I joined rather voluntarily, interestingly, obeying the parents' desire. So,
yeah, and you also you're specialized in the bicycle tires. You are one of the innovators in the brand. Yeah.
So our factory had it was a very vast factory having all type of products.
Okay.
We can see, extruded products. It is the molded products. It's a metal bonded. It is calendared products. It is hand built products. So all type of products were there. Bicycle tires or that, it was a later stage when I thought to just the industry got shrink. So then I want to make some tires. In fact, we were also to go for the automotive tires. My father purchased a vast land in Madhya Pradesh, more than 100 acres, to go for the auto tires with the ventures or the collaboration with the Russia at that time in the 70s. But that could not come, due to so many wars and so many other constraints that could not come. So their father started the cycle tire manufacturing, cycle tire and tube. So from auto tires, when we could not make it, so we went to these cycle tires and the ADB tires, animal-driven vehicle tires,
Oh, okay.
Those tires we also made, and we also made tires for the scooters.
Okay.
For the scooties, not these two-wheelers, not these bikes, but for the scooters.
Yeah, Bajaj. Yeah.
Bajaj. At that time, Vespa,
right.
Yeah. That scooter was there.
Right,
so then gradually after joining the rubber industry, then all people asked me and also telling father that he should also come to the rubber association. So after my joining the rubber industry, after say 15 years, sometimes in 90s, early 90s, then I joined the rubber association.
I see, I see.
Yeah.
And your company is still producing the products, or what is current situation over here?
Yes, cycle tires and tubes,
Okay,
or the
currently.
main tires, the rickshaw tires. In the
And
neighborhood,
how many? Okay, and how many employees and how is how many employees are working in your company now?
So that is on the job work basis. Employees, about 60 employees are there, and they have been working. But we could not go for the to sell to the cycle manufacturers.
Okay.
That is more in the replacement market,
Oh, I see, I see.
Throughout Bengal, we have a very vast chain of the dealers.
You are more on the replacement market, not on the OEMs per se. Yeah. So.
And our rickshaw tubes were very famous and very acceptable in the market.
I see.
Because that was also giving us better price, and there was a little more weight was there, and it was that was better accepted.
And I know that you graduated PhD. You did a PhD pretty late. Huh? What was your motivation? Yeah.
That was another story, because after my post graduation from Jadavpur, I submitted my application or my just synopsis for the PhD work there. But at that time, family pressure was that now enough. Now you must come. If you must do the PhD, people started telling him that then he will go for the academics or for the research. He will not come to the industry. So rather to say, I was rather told not to go for PhD. That was in the year 80, 79, 80, like that. But after our one exhibition, international exhibition, Rubber Association, we held in West Bengal in Kolkata, and I was the chief convener. So at the time, I came in with the interaction with the IIT professors, Professor Anil Bhaumik, Professor Khastigir, Professor Chaki, Professor Nando. So all of them, they came here to Calcutta. They used to come for meetings and all the. So when in 2009, when that exhibition and the international conference were held, so again the urge came into my mind, that it is better. Now I'm talking with them, and they are all doctorates, all research, and I could not do it. So actually, what happened? I was a chief guest in IIT Kharagpur on a research scholar day. So there I spoke my mind that I wanted to do PhD, and still my daughters, they are in London, and they asked me, and one daughter is in Switzerland, Dad, you have got in your mind that you want to do PhD, that is in your heart and brain, which you could not do. So please you come here to London, at least to finish your job for 2 years or 3 years time it takes, and you come here. So at that time when I spoke about this, the director, he was sitting, he was also there as the head of the institute, Then he told that, do you still want to do? And I go, yes, I will. Then the ball started rolling, and I could do PhD from IIT Kharagpur, my doctorate.
Fantastic, fantastic. I mean, probably you are the oldest rubber technologist who got who got a PhD, I guess,
And that from IIT, Rubber Technology Center, which is I love it. That is a reputed center at the institute.
See, I think that many of the people, like young people, also they have pressures from the parents, get a job, they didn't have a time to go for, when you do the PhD, you have at least 4 or 5 years, you need to committed time is there. I think you are inspiration to many experienced people to complete their PhD if they like to do, in the later years also. Fantastic. Yeah.
And that was also the additional source of rubber, because at the time the rubber price was very high. Very high, about 250 rupees. And the members were telling, sir, do something. What can I do? This is the oil price is high. This is the synthetic rubber is high. I can't. No, you can do something. Then I searched the Google that what is the additional. So I came to know about the Wiley rubber. So I searched and I discussed with them, and I did my work with that also. So to that extent, I am satisfied. That
So you finish unfinished job. That's supposed to your urge has been there and finished. Yeah, that's fantastic, fantastic. So let's go into the and get into the rubber industry, Indian rubber industry. Congratulate you. You are currently the new president of Indian Rubber Industries Association. And also you are holding another cap of chairman of Indian Rubber Board of India as well. Yeah, that's,
Yes.
I'm probably you are so busy with a lot of issues concerning the Indian rubber industry. Yeah, is it right?
Yeah, that is there.
Yeah,
But, but it's a privilege, I should take, like that,
right.
at least something, whatever I have gathered from my education, from the institute, or by interacting with the people, if something can be delivered to the industry,
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
will also satisfy me.
That's nice. That's nice. It's a pleasure, it's pleasure to have you on in this program. With a lot of responsibility, which is the contribution will be significant, benefit the all the rubber industries, particularly the SMEs or medium scale and the companies as well. I want to get into the war, Russia war on Ukraine, and how do you see the impact of this? The tragic things happening, and of course, the business got interrupted, logistics was interrupted, and probably the raw material oil price is increasing. So, how do you see the impact of this war on the Indian rubber industry?
Because, firstly, we were importing butyl rubber from Russia,
Yeah,
and that was to the tune of 150,000 tons. But thanks to Reliance Industries, or to their earlier, they could make a plant, Sibur, with them, Sibur plant in Gujarat. So to some extent, we have overcome that difficulty. So still there is some difficulty, but also the government made one FTA with the Singapore for the import of the butyl rubber. So the major problem that is being resolved, we are not to face. Had we would not have come with the butyl rubber plant, we would have faced a lot of problem, because that is needed for the auto tubes and like that. Number two, for this port restrictions or the port logistic issues, then if the freight charges, or we don't get the ships, or we don't get the containers, so those problems we are facing since a long time. If that is
yeah,
going to be worsened, so we have to face. And increase in the oil prices, that may lead to also some hike in the synthetic rubber prices. So then that is will also come to the increase in the price of the natural rubber. So the growers will be benefited. So when I am having a double, so I am happy, when they will be getting a good price, growers will be getting better price for the natural rubber. So that is a good, and they may also come for more plantation. They may be eager that we are getting this one. So what if it's not being tapped? So that let us bring it to tapping, and they can also invest something for the processing if they get something in their head. So though there is some no much raw material we are looking for from Russia or the Ukraine, that was the butyl rubber, for which we are already covered, and other issues from a war, like when Russia is engaged there. So those fallouts will definitely giving some impact on the economy, and ultimately that trickles down to the every sector of the economy.
yeah.
So that will be facing, but not directly. We are very much affected as yet.
Yeah, let's hope that this war ends quickly, so that the lives and properties, so much losses of lives and
The fallout will continue. This war may end, but it is not that from the next day the impact will be over. I don't think so like that.
yeah,
But certainly the rest of the world or India, they are also very much sensitive for the oil prices do not increase. So for
yeah,
that, even during the war, they are working on that. So the things which are not beyond our control, we have to manage our house.
yeah, yeah. So, you are actually based in out of the Calcutta. I think a lot of development is happening. Indian rubber industry, particularly talking about natural rubber. You're more on the south in the past, and now it is expanding in eastern part of India. And what is happening? What are the latest developments in terms of the plantation side as well as the industry growths in eastern part of India?
No, this is for the plantation. About more than 1 year before ago, our honorable Minister of Commerce, he took the initiative, and some of the tire manufacturers, they came to some sort of agreement with the rubber board, some collaborative approach, so that they will be investing about 1,000 crores of rupees for bringing up 2 lakh hectare plantations in Northeast. So we are working on that. but that happened during the COVID period, so we could not do much work. But now we are very serious about it, and we are planning, how early we can bring up that plantation in the northeastern part of the country. So on that we are working. Also, we are thinking and we are taking the necessary steps for good processing, better quality, and Rubber Board has launched certain other e-platforms so that the growers get the better price. So when they start getting good price or the market price, and they are not away from their realization, is not much away from the market price, so then they will be interested, and others will be also more interested in tapping or the investment or the plantation. So we are working on that, and also some skill development is also going on, so that we can mitigate the requirement of the tappers, so that there is no shortage of tappers. We are also serious about that. So whatever required for the plantation sector, we are concerned about that. That is in our knowledge, and we are working on it.
How about the industries? What kind of industries are coming into the eastern part of India?
Eastern part of the India industry are not taking very that initiative, or that we are not seeing that future here, because earlier the industry were, particularly in Kolkata, the industry were there only for the footwear, which are now totally the scenario has changed, and the total footwear activity, those have been transferred, or those have been taken away by the northern India mainly, and Delhi, in the Noida, in Delhi, or in some parts of Haryana, or some parts of UP, that has gone there. We don't have any big auto tire plant here. Though we started the eastern portion, eastern region, we had the first plant of this Dunlop tire that was here.
Yes,
also to make the aero tires, aeroplane tires. Though the requirement was less, that was there. And we have one or two this conveyor belting units are also there. Some molded products units are there, but no auto industry is here, no auto tire manufacturing industry is here. So we are little compressed situation, So our manufacturers, they are not getting very much energized, to produce. So they go from here, they go from one of the auto rubber products manufacturer. He went to Pune and wanted to start a factory there, but also he could not be successful there. Again, he's thinking to run his old factory here. So now we are thinking, when the plantation is coming, and we are also talking with the government of Assam, government of Tripura, then we are having a lot of rubber here. So how the rubber products manufacturing can be taken here. And for that we have got certain plans, and we are working on that. So
I think there is the projects like the parks, right? Rubber parks, or like cluster of industries together with a lot of this.
We started long back, 2003. We started that project, but to get the land and then to make the all the facilities, those work were done. But since land issue, you can understand, that killed a lot of time, and the escalation cost was there. Though the government of India, they helped, the state government helped, but that could not take the we could not start work there. Though we are fortunate that the no rubber industry came in that rubber park, but one rubber testing by efforts of the AIRIA that has come, and they are doing good. Rubber testing is being done, but there is no rubber industry. This is another more surprising. And the industry, which is say 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers, 40 kilometers away from that particular rubber testing facility, they are sending their products to be tested in that lab that run by the AIRIA. So we hope that one day that will also come. We are working on that also.
I think that is also will help the drive the more industries coming in. If you have so in your point of view, what else policies that you think government should to be changed or to be added to for the growth of the rubber industry, not just one part, whole India?
So that is the first was the inverted duty structure. We're talking. Some of the raw materials which are being imported, there are some duties are imposed on that, and the finished products which are being imported, they are not with having less duty, reduced duty, or some minor duties are there. So that type of, when the raw material is costly and finished products is cheaper, so definitely the manufacturers suffer. They hesitate, or when they bring, so that is not cost competitive, they are not having the level playing field. And apart from that, there are certain special purpose rubbers which are not at all manufactured in the country, which are largely or the mostly of the 100% they are being imported from the other countries, earlier from the China or from the Europe or like that. So we have made a approach to the government that some inverted duty structure steps should be taken to rationalize it, and to remove the anomalies, and also you should work so that the special purpose rubbers they can be started manufacturing in the country. And another, sometimes we also face some problems from the FTAs, free trade agreements.
Yeah.
There were also like that, that if we export to certain country, they impose higher duty on the rubber products, but we import from those countries, so there is a less duty. So it was all the time, it was a disadvantages for the MSME manufacturers. So we are working on that, and recently one FTA came. May not be a very high value FTA for the rubber industry, but still the process has started that with the UAE, and there the price, the duty by the UAE has been reduced on the rubber products from India. So that will give a fillip to the exporters.
Particularly the Middle East market.
Yeah, Middle East market. So similarly, now we are keeping a watch, and we are vigilant about what the Ministry of Commerce, they are talking about the FTAs. We are talking about some agreements with the countries. Now they are coming with the Australia, coming with the UK, UA, Canada, and Japan. So and also Saudi Arabia. So we are making a list, and we are keeping a watch on that. That immediately when we get the information, there some talks are going on there. So we are making our searches, we are making our research, and we are trying to bring to the notice of the government. And since the government is sensitive towards the MSME industry and to increase the exports, I think we'll be getting a positive response from them.
And if you probably heard about this a lot nowadays. Everybody talks about it. It's electric vehicles. Okay, it's a two-wheelers has been there. I think there's a huge potential there. But if it comes to the four-wheelers, I think that is a major impact onto the rubber industry. Whatever the components would change. How do you see in EV four-wheelers? Okay, in India, what your opinion about it?
To understand the impact, recently last month, in the month of February, I think that was 13th or 14th February, we made a visit to Automotive Research Association of India, Pune. When we came to know that it is there, Auto Cluster, we also visited in Pune. They are not very much working on the EV, and where we visited to the Automotive Research Association of India, Pune, to understand that how they are going to for this transforming this EV vehicles, and how the rubber products will be impacted. So first, what we got in the first view, that is they are going to be much impacted by the mixing of ethanol with the petrol. So there is a flexi fuels impact on the fuel pipes, that little more considerable, and that is to be considered rather than this EV vehicle. So still they have got what we could understand, that for the automotive auto industry, or the four-wheelers, the passenger or the commercial, still there's some time. But since the government is very much eager that the percentage of the ethanol should be blending with the petrol, that should be enhanced for the sake of the farmers, for the sake of the country, or the cane growers, and also to reduce our spending or the outflow on the foreign exchange by importing less of the fuel. So that impact is going to come on the fuel pipes, on for the vehicles or otherwise. So that we have started discussion with them, and also we'll be discussing over the members. So they should focus on this, and again we'll visit and we'll discuss with them that how other EV vehicles impact, that will be there. So we are in touch with the automotive research associations of the country, like ICAT or ARAI in Pune, ICAT in the Manesar, and also we'll be visiting. I will be visiting also in Chennai. Is also one institute is also there. So we are seized of the problem, and we are not letting it go without our interference or without our working on it.
Yeah. Okay, good. And going to other segment is, if every country looks for the foreign investment, okay, and what areas that foreigners can invest in India, particularly with reference to the rubber industry, in which area, what are the potential there?
Potential first raw material supply chain, there is a lot of scope is there, and especially I just talked with you about the special purpose rubbers or the EVA, EPDM, nitrile, chloroprene, what is the neoprene, fluoro. These are all the rubbers, Earlier the companies were telling that the consumption is less here, so we cannot make it, and we have to go to the other. And I think all were attracted to the China. And from there they started exporting to us also, though we also some importing from UAE also. So we are thinking and we are planning to meet the ministry and to attract their attention that these raw materials, they should be started manufacturing here, because we are not having any control on the prices of that, since we are not manufacturing here. No price control is there, no duty control is there. Whatever the price they ask, our industry has to pay. And we have faced the inverted duty, so we are in a very discomfort position. It is a disadvantage competition is there. So that is the area is there. And for other products like or tire industries, for that our tire manufacturers or the Atma members or other than the Atma members, they are very much concerned about that, and they are importing whatever the machinery, whatever the technology, and how to import it. So larger share now they are dealing with the rubber sector, so which they are working. For the MSME, we are more concerned about this, and some other units to come. Those are already have come in the synthetic rubber or some fluoro rubbers or some small scale. That is on the raw material side. We are not for the MSME. We are not getting anything like for the foreign investment. Foreign investment that we should come, that is on the supply chain.
Okay. And how is the overall performance of the MSMEs in India when compared with other parts of the world? Are they doing all right? And what's like?
I find that the ecosystem of the rubber for MSME sector, that is to be strengthened. By saying that, I mean that the supply chain that has to be strengthened, that has to be more favor of the MSME industry. That is not there. They are not getting the raw materials. They are not getting the raw material supplies. They are getting the supplies as per the sweet wills of the suppliers. So we want to make that strong. Testing facilities, though the testing labs are there in the country, some government labs are there, some private labs are there, some industry they are having their own system of labs. But that is also not adequate. All the MSME manufacturers, wherever they want to test their products, they are unable to test because they cannot hire, they can purchase the machines, but they cannot hire a testing man, they cannot hire a rubber technologist. So they are facing the difficulty. So that difficulty we are facing. For the export, rather our manufacturers, they are also not very much aware to what to export and where to export. The industry or the units which are in the business, they do know only. They can expand their business. But there are other manufacturers who want to come into the business. So our association is now thinking we are hiring some rubber technologists also. So the men from the industry, men from the domain knowledge, if they are there, so they can also assist the association, and the association can also outreach with the manufacturers that here you can get the facility, here you can export, here you can whatever you can import this thing. So this type of facilities we are trying to make, and we are working on that. So what I say, the ecosystem for the manufacturing for the rubber sector, it is weak, and for which the MSME is suffering. Skill development. We made a national occupational standards. Number of national occupational standards have been made by a great job has been done by RSDC or now RSPC DC. But we are lagging some training providers. How the training providers can come and how the industries where they are located, so they can get the skilled people. That is also there. So this type of all whatever the research work is being done, but how that can be transferred or that knowledge can be used by the MSME people, MSME manufacturers to make the use of that research work, that knowledge, and they can produce the work like their products like that. So this is the total ecosystem is, I should say, that is weak. So we are trying to strengthen that ecosystem. Rubber Association will work on it. So whatever anybody who is working, any unit is working in the rubber industry, if he wants to get any information or anything, get the availability of that, so he can do it. For that, Rubber Association has also started on portal e-rubber.in. That will be also come to the knowledge of all, because in our next meeting, after the next meeting, we'll be discussing. So we'll be coming. So if anybody goes into the e-rubber.in portal, so some of the informations or some of the problems, he'll be able to get some redressal. So that is, we are trying.
So let's hope for the good days come for the MSMEs. Yeah, so
yes, definitely. Those are to come. Government also wants that that is the backbone of the economy, backbone of the manufacturers.
Right.
So MSME, they are to be supported, and for that we are working. Our association is particularly or especially for them, and so we are working, and we think some good efforts will be also there, and the members will be benefited. Members or anybody from the rubber sector, they will be benefited.
And there is actually, I think you also very actively involved in the project. IIT Kharagpur, they had some kind of product development and a new investment or building, right? In IIT Kharagpur, if you want to develop a nano.
Yeah. That is one project is coming as the Sathi project, that is there. Synchronized Analytical Technical Health Institute. That is, they are coming also for the industry. They are the only testing or some type of consultancy may be there to help the industry of the region. So that project is coming. I am also associated with that project. And Professor Ravi Bruto Mukhopadhyay, he is the chairman for that project. A small board of governors are there. Some members are there from the ministry, and I am also from the Eastern region. And Mukherjee is there. So it's a 150 crores project. So we have also appointed the CEO for that. So when the machinery, I could not visit, though I was willing to visit from the January, but this is Omicron and all. Then after that, some other busy schedule. So after my return now from Kottayam, also from the South India, I will be visiting there. I think that will be also solving to some extent some testing problems for the MSM industry, where the rubber industry will be also benefited.
Yeah. So that's good. That is a very good project that at IIT Kharagpur. Yeah?
That is a good project.
Yeah. So before I end this program, I will ask you one final question to you. Is that as the president of AIRA, what are your concrete or action plans that you plan to finish in your term?
Not term, it is nothing, I don't venture any plan that which I should finish in my term. This is all, it's the continuity. Now you can see the central government or the union government led by our Honorable Prime Minister is working for what will happen after 25 years. They are making a problem what will happen after 10 years. He is not sure. He has got a mandate left for 2 years only now. But still today he is making a plan for 5 years. So it is nothing. I don't see any plan or any project that how I can finish within my tenure. I want to lay the total plan or path, what association should follow. Association, that is in one word or one sentence, that is to make the ecosystem of the rubber sector to make it strong. That is, I am working on that. An ecosystem that covers everything, that covers the skill development, that covers the training, that covers the education course, that covers the supply chain, that covers the testing, that covers the machinery, that covers FTAs, that covers, government policies, so MSME policies and whatever. So we must be vigilant about all the factors affecting the rubber sector. That is whether what will be our consumption in say 20 years hence about the natural rubber, how we are planning for that, how the association is thinking, how the association is making dialogue with the rubber board, and for the other synthetic rubbers to the union government, how they can do it. So it is my one sentence is that only my plan is the ecosystem for the rubber sector should be made strong, and if we will work on it, and it's a continuous work, and if that work is successful, rubber industry or rubber sector will be there. We have also thought for some ITIs to that is to be taken, to work closely with the ITIs, So in each region one rubber center for rubber sustainability. Otherwise, you will all the time hear the word center for excellence, but now we have given the word center for rubber sustainability, because the government wants everything that we should be self-sustainable.
Yeah.
So to make the rubber sustainable, what we require. So those things will be there, also. So for that, we have identified some IIT, the Western region have already their discussion with the state government, Maharashtra government, that if they can get one IIT where they can work for Center for Rubber Sustainability. So similarly, all the centers in all the region we want to have. And for that, we don't want to put the new establishments, but IITs are there, and government is also very eager to use the infrastructure available with the IIT, and how to, if anything has to be improved, the Ministry of Skill and Development, they are also eager. So will come some sort of solution finding, with all the manufacturers, with all the members, all the stakeholders of the rubber sector, so that if we can make the center for rubber sustainability, that is also, and to make the rubber ecosystem strong. That is the whole idea.
Super. Sir, thank you very much. You gave us very interesting input into the whole about Indian rubber industry, the challenges, opportunities, the what kind of policies to be changed, and also finally you mentioned about strengthening the Indian rubber industry, not just only one segment, whole ecosystem.
Yes,
that is your agenda, whole ecosystem.
Yes. Ecosystem, if you make it strong, and the challenges, our per capita rubber consumption is very less, 1 point say something, some kg, and some other countries, China, they are having more than 3 times or 2 times. Our population is growing. So even if we increase by some percentage, so what will be the requirement of the rubber goods? Rubber goods are also required for the infrastructure. They are coming, so many highways are coming. So auto industry is going to play a vital role. So all the time the rubber, auto rubber products, they are also in demand. So it is all that. So with the index of, earlier we used to say index of civilization, the per capita consumption will increase. Now it is with the infrastructure, we can tell. So as our economy, now it's a 2.5 trillion, if it goes to 5 trillion, that economy. So what will be the requirement of the rubber products? It will mind-boggling. So it's a huge opportunities there, and challenges that we will also meet through the intervention of the government, and also the positive attitude and the positivity of the manufacturers.
So the future is great for the Indian rubber industry with a lot of opportunities.
Yes, surely.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's the end of the discussion with Dr. Sawar. He shared his interesting input about Indian rubber industry. Thank you once again, Dr. Sawar, for contributing this session today. Thank you.